Friday's Times next, and it turns out eunuchs are a thing in Scotland, Dana.
Yes, so the NHS Scotland has had to apologise for saying that eunuch should be a sexual identity. I'm a little bit confused because there's so many different situations that eunuchs come up in and reasons why people become eunuchs. I don't know how that's a sexual identity. And also, too...
I think most of them are bad, aren't they? I mean, I don't want to be harsh, but most of them are bad, aren't they? It's like either
not a good
disease
thing.
or an accident. I mean, there might be one or two people doing it as a
sultans back in the day with
if you were around women in the harem or whatever.
Conceivably, it could be a kink, I suppose. I mean, I don't
that's
think
the word here. It is a kink.
Is it?
And the fact that the NHS have put it on its website, then sorry, I don't want to interrupt the story, but then it went through to this page which is dedicated to it, and there are threads on. This is all through the NHS. Then talking about how giving instructions for self-castration by injection, all this. There are 2,000 posts about how to do. It's not good. That it's going through.
Sorry, Dana.
I'm still confused about this. Like, who does this? I mean, if someone else does it to you, okay, obviously, because they're people with sexual violence and things like that. Or I guess the castrato, right?
Yeah,
that was another reason.
Not a big tradition in Scotland, as far as I know.
No, of course not. And I mean, when I start looking at it historically, I think it's really quite dangerous to do as an adult. And later on in this article, they talk about a guy who was performing these castrations in his basement in Finsbury Park, just up the road.
He's been arrested. But you know what? The Royal College of Nursing as well, they put up a thing saying that they are endorsing eunuch as a gender identity. And I'm sorry, I know we disagree on this, but this is unfortunately what happens.
How do you know?
Well, OK, I mean, you open the door to some of this stuff and then some other stuff comes through if people aren't really aware.
I don't think eunuch is a gender identity.
Well, they're saying it is a gender identity. That's the point. It's coming through official channels because they're trying to be right on and go, all right, that we got they, them, and then this is the other stuff that comes through. There is kink out there that is embodied within it, and they're not.
20 years ago, there was it may have been even longer. I do remember, though, very clearly. There were an organisation, a society of men who mutually agreed with one another. They would get together and drive nails through one another's genitalia of an evening, and it ended up in court as to whether or not this was whether you were allowed to do it among
the only time I think
adults.
The only time I think that, in my opinion, and this is going to sound crazy and probably the only right-wing thing you'll ever hear me say, is with, I'm sure you've heard of the group, the virtuous pedophiles, right? They know that they have an natural attraction towards children, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're, they've abstained, I mean, would you be against castrating somebody so that they could protect a child?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but these people obviously have mental health issues. I mean,
there's many different situations people become a eunuch, but
we had our dog chemically castrated this week because we weren't sure whether it would be good for him.
How old?
He's 4 years of age. He's not aggressive, and he doesn't even try and mount other dogs in the park. But when a dog is intact, as they euphemistically call it, they give off a sort of aroma. Their pheromones are quite powerful, and that in itself provokes aggression in other dogs. So he quite often gets attacked. Being a lovely,
apparently it's quite dangerous to do.
Go on the NHS website, you get some good tips.
But my point is, a chip, they inject it into him, it lasts for 6 months. That costs very nearly as much as the full surgery. So, I just thought, God, how much is the surgery? I think it should be brought in as a...
Was he looking for them, like, after the surgery?
No, he's not had the surgery yet. He's just got the chip so far. He doesn't even know it's happened yet, I don't think.
OK. Well, unfortunately, this is human beings.
Yeah, no, but still, we could experiment.